Probably, if you're listening to this episode, it's because procrastination represents a serious problem in your life. In my personal case, most of the conflicts that arose in my day-to-day life had their roots in the habit of postponing. When you decide not to do what you must and postpone it, all kinds of difficulties begin to appear. Your productivity plummets, anxiety settles into your life, you start evading responsibilities, and worst of all, you are overwhelmed by that annoying feeling that you are not fulfilling what you know you must do. The Stoics were enormously concerned with the topic of procrastination. We have clear examples of philosophers like Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, who, having great responsibilities in their lives, could not afford the luxury of procrastination. It is not an easy task since we tend to prefer immediate satisfaction over the necessary effort to fulfill our duties. Despite the difficulty, if you're here, it's because you want to change, because you want to start being productive, master of your mind and your actions. Overcoming procrastination will also make you happier, since you will feel a deep peace with yourself when you act responsibly. It seems incredible to think that Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, had the same 24 hours that you and I have to carry out his daily work. How did he manage to govern the largest and most powerful empire of his time, philosophize, write, take care of his family, dictate laws, attend trials, lead armies, and guide his people during a terrible plague, all without falling into the excesses and vices that other emperors succumbed to? The key to his success was his disciplined routine. Marcus Aurelius had formed habits that allowed him to overcome laziness and avoid procrastination. And in the end, that is the formula: develop a solid routine. Marcus Aurelius integrated his responsibilities as if they were an indispensable part of his life, just like eating, grooming, or sleeping. To such an extent that fulfilling his duties was as necessary as breathing. All the Stoics, just like Aristotle, understood that we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an isolated act, but a habit. For example, for Marcus Aurelius, the day began very early. In his own words, "When day breaks and you wake up, remember that you get up to perform the work proper to a human being." For him, there was no option to stay in bed doing nothing. His day started by writing in his personal diary, spending a few moments capturing his thoughts, clearing his mind, and reminding himself what was truly important. He also mentally prepared himself to deal with people, knowing that today you will meet disrespectful, ungrateful, irritating people who will try to frustrate you. Marcus Aurelius understood that he could not allow the actions of others to interfere with his balance or his happiness. He knew that he must act according to his own judgment with justice and temperance. After this mental exercise, Marcus Aurelius began with his most crucial tasks. He prioritized the most important tasks at the beginning of the day, when his energy was at its peak. Focus fully on the task at hand as a Roman would. Act as if it were the most relevant thing, he wrote in his meditations. As you can see, in his routine there was no room for procrastination. And now you must be wondering, how can I act like Marcus Aurelius and leave procrastination behind? How can I train my mind, and what tricks will help me? I am going to share with you 7 strategies that have personally helped me combat this problem. 1. Change your perspective. Procrastination is a problem of the modern world. We procrastinate because, in a way, we can afford to. Ask someone who has nothing to eat if they ever procrastinate. Most of us live with relative comfort, which makes us lose the sense of urgency regarding our responsibilities. When we have an imminent deadline, we are capable of completing pending work almost at the last moment. That urgency makes laziness magically disappear and makes us act quickly. It's all due to the sense of urgency. What if we started setting our own deadlines? This would increase that internal urgency and help us combat procrastination. But how can we guarantee that we will respect those self-imposed deadlines? An effective way is to involve another person. Tell a family member or friend that if you do not complete your task before the deadline, you will have to give them a certain amount of money as punishment. This type of commitment will force you to act. Remember, increasing your sense of urgency is fundamental to overcoming procrastination. 2. Avoid low-value distractions. When we procrastinate, we usually replace important activities with low-level entertainments. These distractions not only add nothing useful to your life, but they also generate guilt, because deep down you know you should be doing something else. You don't even fully enjoy those diversions. Wouldn't it be much more pleasant to enjoy after having fulfilled your responsibilities? Invert the order. Work first and enjoy afterward. 3. Restructure your responsibilities. There are tasks that, due to their difficulty or duration, can overwhelm us to the point of paralyzing us and pushing us to procrastinate. If I asked you if you could work 5 hours straight without distractions, you would probably say no. But could you work 1 hour without interruptions? It's more likely. And 5 minutes? Everyone can focus for 5 minutes. Apply this approach to your big responsibilities. Divide them into smaller, more manageable parts. Each fragment will be easier to tackle and will reduce your tendency to procrastinate. 4. Take the first step. Every procrastinator knows that the beginning is always the hardest part. Once you start, you have overcome the biggest obstacle. Force yourself to start. Don't think about how long it will take or how difficult the task is. Just take the first step. That first impulse will naturally lead you to the second, the third, and so on. Moreover, those of us who tend to procrastinate know that once we start, we don't want to stop because we understand how hard it is to start again if we pause. 5. Use the 5-second rule. Related to the previous point, this strategy consists of the following. When you have to do something you don't want to, count backward from 5 to 0, and as soon as you reach 0, act without thinking. The idea is to avoid giving your mind time to sabotage you. Don't think too much, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. Personally, this technique has helped me a lot in my daily life, especially when I need to face uncomfortable tasks. 6. Use the Pomodoro technique. This strategy will help you work in more manageable time intervals. If you think you have 5 hours of work ahead, you will probably feel overwhelmed. But if you divide it into blocks, the load feels much lighter. The Pomodoro technique consists of work for 25 minutes straight, then rest for 5 minutes. This constitutes 1 Pomodoro. After completing 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break of 20 minutes. This way, you will have worked 1 hour and 40 minutes in a focused way, alternating breaks, and it will be much easier to maintain concentration. 7. Eliminate distractions. Our brain loves the easy way out. If you have your cell phone, a console, or any tempting object near your workspace, it will be much harder to resist. Design a work environment that minimizes temptations. Identify what distracts you and eliminate it from your action area. Make procrastination difficult and completing your tasks the only visible option. What do you think of these tips for overcoming procrastination? Do you have any other tricks you use and would like to share? I'll read you in the comments. Remember, we need discipline for all these strategies to truly work. Without willpower and the genuine desire to change, we will achieve nothing. Before ending, I would greatly appreciate it if you give a like to the episode, as this helps me bring this Stoic message to more people. If you don't want to miss any of my upcoming episodes, subscribe and activate the notification bell. See you next time.